Hello there. My name is Salim Javed and I teach cinema. So far we have been talking about what effect globalization and corporatization had on Indian cinema. We have talked about films from 2000 to 2004. Now let's talk about films released in 2005. Now I've been talking about how the issue of corporatization and globalization has affected cinema, what sort of films we started producing, what sort of cinema we started watching, how the common man, which was a hero up till 1980s, to in some films 1990s also, how he started fading out from cinema, and how suddenly very metrosexual or metropolitan characters started taking its place. Now Bhuvan, now you do not find the Do Biga Zameen. You find No Entry, which was released in 2005. Now No Entry was one of the blockbuster of year 2005. You have Black also. Now look at now all these films that I'm talking about, at least starting 10 films, is based on the earning they made, the maximum earning they made in that particular year. Like, if given a choice, a lot of people will watch No Entry, but given a choice, a lot of people will watch Black also. Bunty and Bubbly was sheer joy. Salam Namaste again was absolutely about two characters, their worries and everything. You have Garam Masala, which was pure comedy. Mangal Pandey, which was technically a disaster but was a wonderful film. Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya, again that sort of. Now even David Dhawan will start taking a back seat, because a new kind, like if you're watching Black in a year, then Maine Pyar Kyun Kiya, you may not watch this particular film, but you will thoroughly enjoy No Entry also, because that was a fresh take on again, there is a debate of morality, adultery and everything. That is a different thing. Garam Masala is also that. But people have started experimenting. Black was a beautiful experiment. It was, and which proved to be a commercial success also. It secured the second place in that year. Then you have Bunty and Bubbly, which is basically fun and frolic. Then you have Salam Namaste, which is purely about youngsters. Then you have Mangal Pandey, which basically addressed the first revolt of India. That's why the rising. Then you have Waqt. Again, you have a regular film against time, where father and son, there is a tussle between father and son. Then comes Sarkar by Ram Gopal Verma. Absolutely, Godfather, absolutely inspired from Godfather, and there is no problem inspiring from one film and making another film. Then you have Thus. Anubhav Sinha gets its entry. Anubhav Sinha is the same guy who will be making Ravan also. Now look at the films again, films which are swiftly making its place, and building a new category in audience mind, and which will blow itself, which will inflate itself when we're talking about 2012, 13, 14 or 15 or 16. Now look at this Apharan, Parinita, Kya Cool Hai Hum. Wonderful film. Maine Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara, My Wife's Murder, My Brother Nikhil, Bluff Master for that matter, Paheli for that matter. My Brother Nikhil is absolutely one of the films where they have de-stereotyped the character. Now if you see this film, you will understand what I mean when I'm saying that they started de-stereotyping the character. Like, suppose, what is stereotyping and what is de-stereotyping? Like, suppose if I say I'll say the same thing in terms of when I'll be talking about Being Cyrus, which is in next one or two slides. Now when you see a Parsi character, now till 2000, if I show you a Parsi character, then you imagine a Parsi character in a particular attire, speaking. If he is a guy, then he'll be speaking in a certain way, and if he's a lady, then she will be dressing up in a very different way. So anything that comes when I say a Parsi character, or when I say a Panditji, when I say a Pandit character, or for that matter if I say Maulana, so you have a certain image in your mind of these words. Now that is stereotyping. But My Brother Nikhil, or films like Amir, or films like Being Cyrus, they de-stereotype all these characters. Now there can be a wonderful debate that why producers or cinema, or why the modern sensibility post 2000 started accepting these stereotyping, why it is in today's time it's a big debate when it comes to identity in foreign countries, in many specific countries. It's a debate of identity, it's a debate of gender, it's debate of identity, a lot of other things. So like in 2005 you have a wonderful film called My Brother Nikhil, which actually inculcates a very interesting debate and de-stereotype the characters that are there in our mind. Then you have again the franchising thing, like you have Dhoom, now you have Dhoom 2, you have Koi Mil Gaya, then you have Krish, Lage Raho Munna Bhai MBBS, then you have Lage Raho Munna Bhai, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, you have Dawn, which is a remake of old Dawn, then you have Fana. Rang De Basanti was absolutely a modern take on on freedom fighters, and how that sensibility is being adapted in modern times. Then you have Hera Pheri, then you have Phir Hera Pheri, then you have Bhagam Bhag, you have Vivah. Now look at all these films: Mala Mal Weekly, 36 Chinatown, Ghosla Ka Ghosla, Gangster, Corporate, Being Cyrus that I was talking about, Door, now Kabul Express, now Omkara. Omkara was a fantastic adaptation of Othello. Now Being Cyrus that I was talking about, then you have Khosla Ka Ghosla also. Now Khosla Ka Ghosla is absolutely a very, I should now say, very low budget film, which talks about a particular family. Father buys a particular land, that land is being grabbed, and then how these two brothers, and especially the elder brother Chiranji Lal, he comes, and this is something which is like about you and me. This is something that we listen in our mohallas, and this is something is very known to us topic. Now Diwakar Banerjee did wonderful thing with this film, where he brought a very subtle humor, where it was about mundane topic. You don't need to make a very serious film about a serious issue. Land grabbing is a serious issue, but Khosla Ka Ghosla is a very beautiful take on this. Now corporate, for that matter, nobody was thinking of making a film on corporate. Now Being Cyrus, there is a Parsi guy, and this Parsi guy is not Dikra. This Parsi guy is absolutely normal like you and me. This Parsi guy is absolutely, he has his ambition, he has his handicap, he has his insecurities, he has got some strength. So this particular film, Being Cyrus and Khosla Ka Ghosla, proved to be, we have been watching films of these sorts, but now these two particular films, very forcefully establishes that story, its treatment, good actors, not the stardom will work. It's not that the people that stardom will take a backseat. No, in India, stardom can never take a backseat because it is in one of the major factors. But Omkara, the songs, dialogues, language, sensibilities that it has, like Western UP, it has opted, is absolutely fantastic. Now again, Dream, Weaving Machine, Om Shanti Om is there, Welcome is there, Partner is there. But Chak De India, I'm sure that all of you have seen. Tare Zameen Pe, all of you have seen. Now, Tare Zameen Pe, as compared to Om Shanti Om, may not have that sort of a budget, but in a very limited budget, people started, Amir Khan production started experimenting. Chak De India, like nobody. Before that, I don't think that people have made a film on women hockey. Shimit Amin wrote the film and made the film. Then you have Hey Baby. You have films like Hey Baby. Now Guru by Mani Ratnam. Look at the way trends are changing. Like Om Shanti Om. Yes, fine. It is made beautifully. It has got everything. Welcome. Anees Bazmir will keep on surprising. He is. a different sort of a magician who's out of the league. Then you have David Dhawan, partner, yes, fine, but gradually he is moving out. Then look at the films that are coming up: Chak De India, Tare Zameen Pe, Guru. Now, when Guru released, it's a beautiful film. In terms of cinema, it's a very beautiful film. It's about some individual made in a very dignified manner. But the people, those who were villain in 70s, 80s, now they become hero in the new century. But there's nothing against this film, but I'm saying in 70s and 80s and 60s, rich people used to be villain, and how from that journey of villain, now how these characters are being projected as heroes, it is a beautiful case study. Now, Bhool Bhulaiya is absolutely hilarious. Namaste London, again, Vipul Shah, wonderful film. Tara Rampam, wonderful film. Now, look at these films again. Bheja Fry, Black Friday, Cheeni Kam, Jab We Met, Johnny Gaddar, Life in a Metro, Nishabd, No Smoking, Manorama 6 Feet Under. Sawariya is a big budget film, but it did not make to the top 10 that year. That's why it's here. Then Shoot at Lokhandwala. So leave these two films, Sawariya and Shoot at Lokhandwala. Look at the film Manorama 6 Feet Under. I'm sure many of you may not have seen the film, but you should see this film. It will even surprise you today. No Smoking was a beautiful take. Nishabd was a jaw-dropping film, like a concept which I'm not talking here, is forbidden. It was forbidden until Nishabd. Then Life in a Metro. When we talk about genres, there is a particular genre called slice of life. Life in a Metro is a perfect example of that. Johnny Gaddar is absolutely enjoyable film. You have Jab We Met, Cheeni Kam. Now, again, it's slightly a topic which nobody talks in India, but Cheeni Kam takes. Now, look at the variety of topics that we started. Bheja Fry. It was like it. There is a particular category called low investment and a high ROI. Ghosla ka Ghosla, and then Being Cyrus. Then you have Bheja Fry, Black Friday, Cheeni Kam, Johnny Gaddar, Life in a Metro, Nishabd, No Smoking, Manorama 6 Feet Under. And this category will keep on becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I tell you, there will be a time during the lecture where you will understand, no, these are the films were like, yes, we have seen these films. Maybe we have not seen other films also. Now, 2008, for the first time, India gets its 100 crore club film, which is called Gajni. Then Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi, then Singh Is King, Jodh Akbar was a beautiful film. Race, very pacey, wonderful, stylized, very global. So that sort of a film. Now just look at these films. Dostana, again a taboo theme, Then you have Bach Ke Rehna, Bachna Hai Hasino. Then you have Bhootnath, Sarkar Raj. Now Amir, absolutely de-stereotyping of what we have been thinking about. Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, Rock On, Wednesday. Who has not seen Wednesday? Neeraj Pandey film, Then you have Fashion, Oye Lucky Lucky, Oye Mithya. Now look at the way it is growing. Now let's talk about 2008. It is a landmark year in the history of cinema, because this year onwards, Indian film industry is bitten by a bug called 100 crore club that you and I talked today. This was the first film, and the year was 2008. Now 2009, I think everybody has seen Three Idiots, but this is something like, look at the themes, how we are gradually love aajkal, even if it is about love, but a very different kind of love. Ajab Prem Ki Gazab Kahani. Now people are not treating love stories in a straightforward manner. They are taking turns and twists. Wanted, again, one of the landmark films, Billu, De Danadan, all these films, Chandni Chowk to China, and below it I have written Warner Bros Pictures, and there is another film called Blue. Again I have written Warner Bros Films. Now I have been talking about corporatization and globalization. Everything is happy, everything is going wonderful, and we have been making very different, we have started making very different sort of cinema. But these two particular films, Chandni Chowk to China and Blue, they were disaster. They were disaster. And I'll talk when I'll come to 2015, 16. Banks. I will not say stop financing. I'll say they started hesitating financing, because I said it is about 2001 when we are talking about globalization, when we are talking about corporatization. There is institutional financing available. I said it in the beginning of the lecture. But 2009 is just two obvious example that I'm talking about. Chandni Chowk to China was a huge film. Then you have a Blue, wonderful film. Thoroughly, but they were a financial disaster. And it's a matter of like few years, like 2011, 12, 14, 15. By 16 and 17, by year 2016 and 17, you have a lot of reports where filmmakers started urging Government of India to dictate banks that they should help finance the films. Now, what is going wrong in the background? This is again one entire lecture. What is going wrong? I'm showing you a very glossy picture that, look, films are doing wonderful. We are taking a departure from the conventional films that we have been making. But in the background, a silent wave of disaster is also, flowing. It is under the carpet which is happening. Now these becomes two very obvious examples. Now a lot of like in the next lecture I'll talk about how lot of production houses, how a lot of corporate houses, they started pulling out from film industry. Now this is something that nobody talks about, because this is something very dangerous to talk about in terms of the health of cinema. But this is also one of the trends. Now again, Devdas, you have 2002, I think. 2002 you have Devdas. In 2009 you have Dev D, Rocket Singh Salesman of the Year. Then you have Raz. Then you have Wake Up Sid. Pa holds a Guinness Book of World Record where son is playing the role of a father and father is actually playing the role of a son, and they are biological father and son. So Pa is very, you must be knowing it, but just it came to my mind. Luck by Chance is a beautiful film. Gulal Will Kill You. This is, look at this category. Like Ranveer Kapoor making Wake Up Sid, beautiful, subtle film. Rocket Singh, absolutely about a normal guy who wants to do a job, but he wants to bring values. This young guy, urban guy, who is who has exposure to everything, but still sticking to its values which are not very, which are not what people value which is very close to him. So Rocket Singh is basically तुम अपनी कंपनी कितने में बेचोगे? ₹1 में. So all these values. Then you have Gulal, beautiful writing, beautiful direction. Dilli Chhe, it's beautiful. Then you have year 2010, on the one wave Salman Khan is going. All these three Khans are ruling. Then amazing things are also happening. And then you have, now here from 2010 onwards, I have put up a different category where you have 5 top films on one end, 5 financial disaster on other end, and 5 films which have made name for itself. Like Dabangg was a super hit, My Name is Khan was super hit, Golmaal 3, Rajneeti and Houseful was super hit, made good money and everything. But financial disasters were Guzarish. Now, I have incorporated financial disaster because then one can understand why foreign studios started, pulling out of Indian film production system. You have Guzarish, huge film, flop. Kite, huge film, flop. Ravan, Wonderful film. I mean, I still see this film. Then you have Action Replay, then you have Veer. All these films, like I have taken only 5. I mean, there are many. So these were like, when people say it's a risky business, it is because of these financial disasters. But under the carpet, which films are making, a noise peoply life? Love, Sex and Dhoka, Band Baja Barat, Khichdi, Ishqiyan. Now, on the one hand, you have big investment, big money being earned. On the other hand, you have big investment, but you are losing money. On another level, you have moderate budget, and you are making profit on this category. Again, in year 2011, you have Bodyguard, Dawn, Ready, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Again, that life is full of sunshine sort of a cinema. Then you have Singham, South Indian cinema's effect on Hindi cinema. Then you have Anubhav Sinha's Ravan. Thank You. Then you have Arakshan. Then you have Patiala House. Then you have Mausam. Now, technically, because I keep on reading about cinema, Ravan is no doubt a financial disaster in the year 2011. But what Ravan gave to Indian film industry is Red Chilli Studios. Now, this particular VFX studios help other films to save a lot of money, and like if you take, because I'm talking about financial disaster, so if you talk about investment, then Ravan in a long term proved to be a profitable film for the producer. But again, the undercurrent that I'm talking about, Delhi Belly, Murder 2, Tanu Weds Manu, No One Killed Jessica, Haunted 3D. Now I'm sure all of us have seen Tanu Weds Manu. Delhi Belly is pure wonderful take on a very, 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 very interesting films. Then you have year 2012, which talks about Ekta Tiger, big film, made big money. Dabang, Jab Tak Hai Jaan, Agnipath, Rowdy Rathore. But at the same time, the disasters were Agent Vinod, Players, Joker, Tez, and then Department. Now, the film which made a difference in year 2012 were Vicky Donor, Pan Singh Tomar, Kahani, Jannat, Gang of Wasipur 1 and 2. Now, when I was talking about, if you remember that in the beginning of the lecture, I was talking about that how these particular things, how this particular category will become a category in itself. And when I talk about this particular of the films of that particular year, most of the films have been seen by people. So now it is not only about, big actors, big money, okay, winning and losing is a different game. Now stories are coming up, and these stories are not, kabhi khushi kabhi gham sort of stories, or kabhi alvida na kehna. These are not that sort of stories. These stories are किसी के मोहल्ले की कहानी है, ठीक है, किसी के घर की कहानी है, ठीक है. Characters are getting very normalized and everything, so they are not coming down from helicopter, and as the moment they touch the feet, their mother turns back and mera laal aa gaya. The same thing that I have given example is Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, and as well as Bahubali also. Then you have year 2013, again Dhoom 3 was a hit, Chennai Express was a hit, Krish 3, again Red Chilli Studios product, otherwise it would have been a financial disaster had Red Chilli VFX not been there. Then Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, then Goliyo Ki Ras Leela, Ram Leela, wonderful film. But you have flops like Besharam, you have Once Upon a Time in Mumbai Dobara, you have Satyagrah, Himmat Wala, Zanjeer. But again, the new category which is surprising audience is the Lunchbox, Fukre, Jolly LLB, Ashiki 2, Chashme Baddoor, all these sort of films. Year 2014, you have look at it is. You have variety of themes also. You have success also. You have failure also. But year 2000 onwards, you see the emergence of a new category which talks about Queen, which talks about Mardani, which talks about Ragini MMS, which talks about Yariyan, Heropanti. These are not, high investment films. High investment film was PK. It offended a lot of people. Kick was one-time enjoyment. Happy New Year, though it is a super hit film, but a lot of people criticize this particular film. Now, Bang Bang, Singham returns. Now people are seeing, but they now today's departure, that when people are complaining that why people are not going to cinema hall after COVID, there are health issues, there are a lot of other issues also, but at the same time there are you know, Happy New Year becoming a top grosser of the year. I do not have any opinion against any particular film, but Queen was far better, Mardani was far better. Okay, Ghosla Ka Ghosla was far better. Then by year 2015, you have Bajrangi Bhaijaan, sensible film, beautiful film. Then you have Bahubali, Hindi dub version. Actually, Bahubali was a pan hit, but it was second highest grosser in year 2015. You have Dilwale, you have Prem Ratan Dhan Payo, you have Bajirao Mastani. But greater flops were Bombay Velvet, Tamasha, Phantom, Shandar, Mr. X. But category which actually sweep everything was Piku, Tanu Veds Manu Returns, Dam Laga Ke Hainsha, Badlapur, Manjhi, The Mountain Man. Then I just like Dangal was 2016 biggest blockbuster, sensible cinema. Sultan was also good. Aadil Hai Mushkil, Rustam, Airlift. Mohenjo-daro was one of the financial disasters. Fan was one of the financial disaster. Fitur, Mirzia, The Flying Jet. But the category which performed really well was Pink, Neerja, Happy Bhag Jayegi, Kapoor's and Sons. And by 2017, you have Bahubali. Again, the Hindi dub version was the highest grosser in Hindi. Otherwise, it was a pan-India hit. You have Tiger Zinda Hai, Golmaal Returns, Toilet A Prem Kahani, Jolly LLB. But flops were, big investment and flop were Rais, Jab Harry Met Sejal, then you have Jagga Jasoos, you have Un Mubaraka and Rangoon. But the biggest category, the point to be taken from 2017 was Secret Superstar, Hindi Medium, Bareilly Ki Barfi, Fukre Returns, Lipstick Under My Burqa. Now see how this small category has become one of the major categories, and you witness the kind of themes, variety of themes in Indian cinema because of corporatization and globalization. I will tell you how Secret Stars earned 1,800 crore as a total gross next time. Thank you very much.